Thanks. And so the reporting tools that you'll see will really help you uh, understand who has and who hasn't posted. And there's some tools that hope will show us that can prompt some people with aggressively worded emails as we get closer to our deadline. And we'll try to get as close as we can to 100% compliance. We know that there'll be some issues and we can talk about that, but we're going to try to get as close as we can. Um, the long term for this, well, let's talk about short term. We know that there's a lot of interest in using simple syllabus across the campus as a syllabi repository. And we'll get there, but right now, for at least this semester and next, because of the deadlines, we're just trying to use it for compliance for House Bill 261, which requires us to have a searchable uh, database of syllabi that's public facing. And so we have that. We have over 650 syllabi already posted to that. And I've sent that to the attorneys at the university, and they pass that on to Yushi. And so we're doing well. But for at least for right now, we have the deadline of October 15th for this semester, and we have December 22nd for the spring. We'll be loading in the mandatory courses into simple syllabus from PeopleSoft. So let me just explain that really quick. We have sent out spreadsheets to all the different units, and we're continuing to gather more and more of those mandatory courses. But what then we do is we take those lists, they get uploaded into PeopleSoft, which becomes the sort of standard for those syllabi. And then those then flow back down into simple syllabus and show. Now, in some cases, there may be errors. In some cases, we're not capturing courses. And I think there are a couple of units where we are gathering more and more graduate courses, and those will then be loaded in bulk here in a few weeks once we get past this October 15th deadline up into simple syllabus for it. So next semester, you'll see all those courses. So if you don't see them, this is an evolving process. And please let us know and we can get those
I
added,
think
but we're
Karn's
doing
name
it.
just got on a Zoom recording, so
I'm gonna mute you, Akil. Thanks. And then we'll have those come and flow down, and then you'll see those for next semester. And if you have technical questions, please email classhelp@utah.edu. And then if you have anything regarding compliance, uh, you all are the experts, and you can certainly contact myself, Ann Cook, Maggie Blanton, and we can help you with those particular questions about what should be included and whatnot. So with that, I'll turn it over to Hope, and she can kind of walk us through some of the tools you can use.
All right, wonderful. So I'll go ahead and go through a high-level overview for everybody today. Maggie has dropped that link into the chat, which will bring you over to the Simple Syllabus login. So when you're logging in, you should be brought to your home page, which is going to look something like this. So you'll be able to log in using single sign-on, so your credentials that you already have for the university should work here. Now, a couple of things here I want to hit on. You are going to see here under home, you're going to see any courses that you're assigned to. So you might see some courses that you're assigned to as that instructor. Those would show up there. What we're going to hit on today is we're going to look at track, and we're also going to look at the reports page. First thing with track. Right now I'm assigned to, I put myself at College of Health, and then I also did College of Social and Behavioral Sciences. So I have access to both of these. So this will gray out any of the areas that you don't have access to. So it should just be for the college that you are tracking or you're running that reporting for. So for example here, let's just do College of Social and Behavioral Health. here. So we can see this is going to be all the syllabi that currently exist for this term. Now, this is the sandbox environment, so some things might have shifted since we did some things in production, but again, what you're seeing here will still remain the same. Something that you can do is that if you do need to assist an instructor, you can do that on this page. So if someone reaches out needing some help, you do have access to go in and select edit to that document. And then from there, you can help them. So if they need some help with formatting something or getting something in there, you can do that on their behalf. So you can act as that instructor. Now, with tracking things on this page, what you can do is you can look here to see what's not started, what's in progress, what's awaiting approval, and then what is completed. So right now, we're just going to focus on these two. So we can see here, we have 130 currently not completed or not started. So that's going to show you a full list. If we looked at in progress, we don't have any in progress, just not started. So that will show us again for all of the fall ones that we have in here. We can filter by specific terms. So right now it would just be fall that's loaded in there, but in the future you would have other terms in there. So any historic ones would deselect, but if you ever needed to go back and check that, you could do that from here. Now let's say that we want to notify these users to send that message as Jim mentioned before. What you could do here is select notify. That is going to essentially notify all of the users here who have not completed their syllabus. So it's 130 documents, 130 documents. So it's going based upon what filters that you have set in place. If you are drilling down maybe to a department specifically, that would drop. So we don't have any here, you don't have any in there. But we'll just do the college level for now. So again, you could jump into a department level if you needed to, but right now we'll just focus on that college level. So once we hit notify, we can craft our message. Name will be replaced by the editor of that document, so almost like a mail merge. So you'll put the subject in there, write that message, and then put a reply to email. A reply to email has to be listed just in case they reply to that email saying, I can't access this or I'm having problems getting into Simple Syllabus. It'd get routed to somebody. So you'd be able to answer that question. Once you send that out, that goes out to all of those editors that are attached to those documents. So that's a way to notify them from there. Other pieces here, we also can look at what is currently completed. So from here, we can check to see the status. So we can see that this was completed, this was submitted, it's published. So if it is saying published and it has a green check mark next to it, that means that that's available in that library that is going to be public facing. If you're ever seeing something where it doesn't have a green check mark, that means that the document is not published, but if it's reading as completed, that means it's done. That's something on the admin side that has to be selected where the term has to be published, which should already be done. So if you are seeing something like that, reach out to your Simple Syllabus admins at Utah. They'll be able to take a look into that. But if you are seeing anything missing a green check mark, that's just something that you might want to investigate. All right, other things here, we also can export. So if you did want to export that document out or that list out, you could do that here. So exporting the full list of all of the completed syllabi, we could do that directly from this page. So again, on Track tab, you can edit syllabi as the instructor. You also have the option to go in here and notify users directly from this Track tab. Other things that you all have access to is the reports page. So the reports page here, it's going to show you that college level that you're assigned to, and then we have departments underneath it. This is going to show you at a high level overview currently how many syllabi there are, what's not started, what's in progress, and what's completed. Nothing will be in awaiting approval because you don't have that process there. And let's refresh this. I think my screen, there we go. So here on the right-hand side, we have that box graph. This is going to group by a specific subject department. Again, that's just more at a glance charts that you can utilize there. Something I do want to highlight with you all is going to be the document status report. So this is where, again, very similar to what you can do on the track tab, you can look at the document status directly from here. So if you want to also grab in, let's say if it's a mandatory, and we want to grab in the last time it was edited. This gives you the ability to see the last time that that document was edited, and then also if it has been published. So this is going to say it's currently not published. This one's completed. Yes, so we're good to go on that. You also can export this, so you can generate that as a CSV. So you can download all that information directly out of Simple as well. You can also do that from that track tab. Another item here to highlight is the syllabus collection. So if you do want to grab all of the published documents, you can do that from here. So this will be everything that's currently published for that college. We could generate a CSV with links, and then we also can collect a zippered PDF with all the PDF files. So the zippered PDF folder would come out, and then you'd have all those documents directly in there. That's just a way to export it in case you needed to do that. So again, a lot of these other ones can be used when you're using Simple for more of kind of building out those syllabi and building things into there. But for right now, the ones that I would really highlight for your team to use are going to be syllabus collection, just in case you need to download those documents, your document status report. And again, you have your statuses here so we can jump to different areas. We also can look by a subject, by an instructor. So this one gets a little bit more granular on what you can pull out. And then if you want to notify those users or edit on their behalf, what you can do is head over to that track tab, select edit, or you can go in there and notify at the very top. So again, you can go in there, kind of customize what you want those to look like. Right now, when I'm in a sandbox environment. So if you ever find yourself in a sandbox environment, just know notifications do not go out of sandbox. It will only be in production, which should be the only place that you all are going to. So that's very high level. What questions do you all have on reporting capabilities? Any questions for me on these pieces or any questions for your Utah team?
Amazing. It can't be that simple, can it?
So easy.
Yeah.
Ron, yeah, Bryce can get you. He'll just add you to that. It looks like.
While people are thinking of questions, I this kind of struck me that that it sounds like now that the only courses in simple syllabus are mandatory courses, then track as opposed to reports definitely seems like the easier route,
Mhm.
since you can both like pull the information you need and then notify the instructors all in one screen. Once in the future, when non-mandatory courses are loaded, we don't even have to worry about that. But that's how report, it's helpful to know about reports. But right now, it definitely sounds like track
Mhm.
is the easiest, simplest way to get both identify courses that need syllabi and notify faculty.
Correct. Yes, Allie.
I'm not sure if you're going to go into this, so stop me if you are. But I've been getting a lot of questions on folks like logging in and trying to see what they can. I can't see what they can see. So is there a way that you can like test to see like a different user as like the compliance person, or can you show us like what it looks like on their end at least, so then I can be like, yes, you should be able to see these things, or no, you shouldn't. Because I've had some like chairs and things where like I can export
Mhm.
stuff for you, but I'm not sure what they can actually see.
That's a good question. So you can't technically impersonate a user directly in Simple, but I can show you what it would look like for them. So a lot of times I have to troubleshoot with some instructors that we're working with. So what I'll usually ask them to look for is, do you see this dashboard icon? If you see this home icon, then likely they have access to the syllabi that they're trying to edit. They also should see a to-do list here, and in that to-do list, when they click edit, that should show up with that document for them. So that is what it should look like when I'm an instructor and I'm going in there to edit that document is I should see things in my to-do list. If I don't see anything in there and I don't see it in completed, then I might be missing something. And at that point, I'd reach out to whoever needs to kind of add that information in for you all. But it should be in to do. But if not, if they've already done it, it would move over to that completed column.
Okay, that's the part that I've been referring them to because I assumed they didn't have the other tabs, so I'm glad I wasn't telling them a weird location that doesn't exist for them.
And Ellie, in some cases, what we're finding, I think we've cleaned most of the technical pieces up, but in some cases, we find like they told me my class is mandatory, or someone I know my class is mandatory, and there may be a disconnect between that particular faculty member and the list that was uploaded. And so what we're doing on our side is then when that happens, we verify that it is indeed mandatory. And in your particular case, we've verified that there's another department that maybe is making it mandatory. If it is not, after that verification, then we put it in a master list. And then here in a couple weeks, when we have a big bulk of those, we'll upload it. Those will get removed and or, well, I guess it's or, they'll be added if we now have a new list from you all. So then for next semester, we'll have an updated list. And we're doing that sort of at certain intervals. And for this semester, if it's not there, it's not considered mandatory.
Yeah, thanks for dealing with all my fun questions
Oh,
too.
no,
Or
no,
like, why
it's
is this class on the list? And we're like, oh, someone else in a different college requires it, which is,
right, which
I'm
opens up a
assuming,
whole,
I'm assuming those are still going to be considered mandatory if
yeah,
like a different major, because I know some of my folks in like science and humanities probably have similar stuff where like we don't require this class, but somewhere someone else does, which is easier to see in course dog now.
yeah,
But yeah, thank you. I appreciate
yeah.
it.
Any other questions?
I know Luisa's on the call, and they have some mandatory courses. They've been posting them on their website. And so what we're doing, Louisa, is taking those courses from your website, from Law's website. We are putting them into our mandatory list. Those will be uploaded and active for next semester. And we're just, as you might imagine, there are quite a few of those that are just around in the university that we're determining that are mandatory. And so those won't be on our list for this semester. They will just pop up for December 22nd, and we'll have some communication of that in the upcoming month, and it's just the constant roll of this as we get going. I think what we're seeing and that you can assure your faculty for next semester and subsequent semesters is those syllabi will be in there. What we'll be doing and what folks will have to do is basically log back in and reapprove those for the next semester. But if they're not changes, which hopefully at the core, we're kind of capturing the high level details. If there are no changes, then they just reapprove them. They kind of, and we'll go have some training for that. And it'll be just done. So it should be relatively straightforward.
It looks like there was a question also from Allie about, is there a deadline you have for getting mandatory graduate courses?
ASAP.
I think we had projected early October, which I know is like the end of the week, maybe next week to reach out. And then mid to late October, that's when everything would be loaded officially, if that sounds correct to you, Jim.
Yeah. Yep, that's great. Yeah, and we know that that's kind of rolling and just when you all can get to it. But what we want to do is get the all the new courses put in enough time for that December 22nd. And some people have reached out to us like, well, we want to do it early. Like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. But we'll get that uploaded, try to get it 1st of November. So then it's open and people were not like rushing with a crazy deadline like we've had to do this semester.
All right, any other questions? All right. Well, that is all that I had for you on my side here. Again, track tab is going to be your best friend when you're trying to pull all that information. So definitely recommend going there first. If you do need to look at any kind of reports just to pull things kind of at a high level, I'd recommend using those reporting features I talked about. But again, you can edit on this page and help the instructor out and also notify. So those are the pieces from me. I'll pass it back over to the Utah team in case they have anything else to share before we let you go.
I just put it in the chat, but the simple syllabus training page, we'll post the recording for this as well as the instructions for what you just saw, the track tab, and then all the instructions for instructors, the instructions for instructions are on the training page as well.
So the other thing from our side, we are now officially turning over communication to your faculty about this semester to you all. So, which means those faculty will not, since now you have the tools to fish yourself, those faculty are your responsibility. I will just be reviewing, our team will be reviewing what's happening and how we're doing with the overall percentage. And you may see, well, I'll tell you, you'll see an increasingly aggressive, strongly worded email from me to you all saying that we notice that you still only have 20% of your faculty posting syllabi. Please address that, get your faculty to do it, and so that we can be increase that percentage. And you know these people better than we do, and they'll probably read something from you rather than from some friendly syllabus administrator somewhere. So please just make sure you do that, and we'll try to get as close as we can. Akil, you came in. We're dealing with all that lab stuff. I think we've communicated with you. If not, we'll do it offline. It's basically if a lab doesn't have a grade, consider that not a separate course and a mandatory, and then we'll clean all of those up for next semester. And that will, I think, help with the number of questions we've had. Trying to think of anything else.
Yeah, Jim, that was one thing that that I was going to bring up is that the difference between whether a lab corresponds to a lecture and if the lecture is tied to the overall grade of that lab.
Right.
So, and that's a message we were starting to send out because we defined those. So we had already sent out one message to another faculty member. And I guess that would be a message we can be confident in. It depends on if the lecture and the lab the grade is combined. And
Yeah.
so
Great. Thanks,
feel free to
Bryce.
send that message out. Yeah, thank you.
Well, cool. I gotta drop off. If there are any other question, Anne's here, Maggie, Bryce, John. So thank you all very much, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Any other questions? All right, wonderful. I'll go ahead and end our recording today, and then I'll send this over to the team so they can get that out